As I said, my name is Rida Chebet-Kering. Welcome on board. Kenya has formally established diplomatic relations with Haiti. President William Ruto and Haiti Prime Minister Ariel Henry witnessed the signing of the agreement at the Kenyan mission in New York, US. The agreement, signed by Minister Jean-Victor Jeunesse and CS Alfred Mutua, will facilitate cooperation in areas of mutual interest. Emmanuel Bomba reports.
My brother, how are you?
President William Ruto on Thursday at the Kenyan mission in New York, United States, witnessed the signing of an agreement that will pave the way for Kenya to deploy police officers to Haiti.
Again, just to confirm to you,
the agreement, signed by Minister Jean-Victor and Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua, will facilitate cooperation in areas of mutual interest.
300 years later.
Kenya has agreed to send 1,000 security officers to the Caribbean nation to help combat the gang violence that has wrecked the country for years.
I thank President Ruto of I thank him for his willingness to serve as the lead nation of a UN-backed security support mission. I call on the Security Council to authorize this mission now.
The president called for a holistic approach that includes political, security and developmental consideration to effectively address the situation in Haiti.
I'm truly grateful that we have found time to share these few moments with you.
He said Kenya will do its part in leading a well-resourced and effective multinational security support mission in the country.
The government of Kenya's readiness to work with you and the great people of Haiti.
Prime Minister Henry said Haiti needs all the support to address immense security, humanitarian, environmental and economic challenges framework for today's development.
Okay, congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations. Congratulations, Hamset. Congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you very much.
In a high-level opening session of the Climate Ambition Summit at the United Nations General Assembly, President Ruto called on the international community to mobilize resources for the implementation of the Nairobi Declaration.
I will use this opportunity to reflect briefly on the Nairobi Declaration, which is the principal output of the successful Africa Climate Summit.
He said the resolutions of the Africa Climate Summit align economic growth with climate action, offering the most effective response to the climate change problem.
The Nairobi Declaration defines concrete roles for the global community as partners in this transformation. Global collective action is urgently required to transform the institutional architecture of international financial systems and mobilize the necessary capital that will forge the golden key of investment. The declaration therefore proposes a pathway towards a global climate financing charter by 2025.
Earlier, President Ruto attended the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's Goalkeepers 2023 Forum, which tracks the implementation of SDGs.
We came to the conclusion at our Africa Climate Summit that it is no longer possible to discuss development, SDGs, and climate separately. That these are one.
At the forum, he called for debt restructuring to stabilize the economies of countries in debt distress.
We need to support these countries, extend their tenure of severing debt, and give them a grace period. That's how they are going to have the possible chance to leverage resources for them to provide resources for development, for SDGs, and for climate action.
President Ruto said it was time the international financial system was reformed to address such financial challenges.
Secondly, we need to rethink the whole architecture around financing. I think it is defeatist for us to assume that there is nothing we can do about the current financial crisis that is facing our globe. That's why we are proposing that it is possible for us to reform the international financial architecture, the international financial institutions, for them to provide additional concessional financing for us.
He later noted that the current system is counterproductive in driving the global transformation agenda.
Got together and found money using SDRs for COVID, we can also find money using SDRs for climate so that we can deal with the possibilities of making sure that resources are found. And finally,
the president also attended a forum hosted by Fauna and Flora International CEO Christina, where he advocated for the implementation of a carbon tax on fossil fuels and carbon credits, saying is the key to raising funds to unlock Africa's renewable energy potential.
We need a risk analysis framework that doesn't assign measures that speak to climate change unnecessary high risk. We need to be practical, we need to be forthright, and that is why Kenya just passed the law that will facilitate carbon trading. This calculation about carbon credit is so complicated, hardly any community would understand what the hell is going on. And finally, they get the short end of the stick.
President Ruto and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau explored new ideas for funding climate action and reforms in the international financial system. They also committed to expediting the bilateral labor agreement that will open up new job opportunities for our skilled and industrious youth. The President and Barbados Prime Minister, Miamo Motley, agreed to campaign for reforms in risk profiling of developing countries. The head of state held talks with the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva.
You know that I would fly.
No, I know that. The president commended the Development Finance Corporation DFC for facilitating the private sector investments amounting to $863 million to support Kenya's healthy systems, SMEs, agribusiness, and logistics.
So that communities, people like yourself, civil society organizations, many other actors in that space can have the leverage to work in a structured manner. Because today, we do not have a clear framework on carbon trading, and many communities are being taken advantage of by people who,
Reporting for Maisha Prime Maisha Television, I'm Emmanuel Wabomba.
I know that we do not have currently